Hi everybody, welcome to the first ever cast video of my story. We're here tonight with Samantha. Sorry about the delay, guys, and why it's on my personal Facebook, because Unite the Children UK hasn't been active long enough for Facebook to allow me to stream on there. So going forward in the future, I will be advertising the YouTube on here, and I'll be live streaming on the YouTube because I can live stream at 1440p and audio and everything's so much better. It'll just be a lot better, guys. And then it'll be shared straight afterwards onto Facebook and that, so nobody will miss it. But in the future, next time we go live, guys, there'll be a link to YouTube. So if you want to comment and join in on there, you're more than welcome. But I won't be going live on my personal Facebook anymore. And into Unite the Children UK, Australia and USA, as more time running, it won't allow me to live stream on it. Just community rules and that, what Facebook does, not really anything I can do about it. Anyway, guys, I'll stop going on and I will hand you all over to Samantha, who's going to tell her story this evening. Very, very brave lady, or what she's been through and going through, and willing to come live on here, no alias or nothing. So yeah, I'm going to sit back. Matt's going to sit back because he's also here, and we're going to allow Samantha to tell her story. But at any point she wants us to engage, we will, guys. So thanks everybody for tuning in, and I'll hand you all over to Samantha. Thank you.
Thank you. Um, First of all, I'd just like to say the main reason why I'm doing this is so it encourages more mothers, grandmothers, grandfathers, dads, whoever it affects. Hopefully, this gives you the courage to come forward and tell your story. You haven't got to go online. You can do it all anonymous, but I've chose to obviously show my face. I'm going to try my best not to mention any names because that's the main aim, is not to mention no names and just tell my story. I'm not here to bash or slate anyone. I'm just here to tell you my experience. So it all started last year in May. I was living in a 3-bedroom house in Charing, lovely village. My children, I've never had a bad report from their schools ever. I'm very lucky. They're polite, they're well behaved. No, they're not the brightest of kids, but they good attendance. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't push them with the education. I just say you've got to attend and that's it. So they're very good kids, never had a bad report. None of them have ever bullied or even been in trouble with the police. My daughter turned 13 and she's obviously my first child. She was starting her monthlies and stuff, and she just turned into a completely different person. She was smashing the house up. Again, I've never had no, like, your kids misbehave, I'm not saying that, but nothing like, I would never allow them to smash things up or swear at me or anything like that. She was doing all these things, and obviously I've got 2 younger children as well, so, and one's a baby. So at the time, my parents had just moved to Lincolnshire. They're 4.5 hours away, unfortunately. Usually they're down the road and they can help out. I phoned like an idiot. I phoned social services and asked them for help. She was completely out of control. And my main focus and worry really was on my other 2 children, because I don't want them to learn that type of behaviour. Because you learn off the eldest. That's your, do you know what I mean? That's the benchmark. And if whatever they learn and whatever they do, that's what they pick up on. So I was obviously getting concerned about the younger 2 as well. Um, Phoned them up for help. They done absolutely nothing. They placed her with a biological dad, even though she's been raised by the other two's dad for the past 10, 11 years. Like, that's her dad. She even used his surname and things like that. So she's had a good dad for 10 years. They used to go off abroad with each other, very good relationship. They really, really get on really well. She calls him dad, no problems. Um, Unfortunately, they placed her with her biological dad, who she's never met before in her life, where she was completely neglected. Again, I've got all the proof of her turning up for a visit with one flip flop on, black all up to her knees, stone black feet, food all over her top. She was, they gave her a phone eventually because I said, like, there's something, she's turning up and there's something not right. She doesn't look right. And then when she come back home, because obviously she couldn't stick it there, I'd found out that the grandparents had attacked her with a police report, and the police just sent her straight back in there. Social services placed her there and was aware of it. She was meant to be there getting to know her biological dad. Out of 4 months, he spent 2 days there. So uh, she she was very hurt when she come home, unfortunately. But I made sure, like, I sat down, I was there for her. But unfortunately, she was too hurt. I was asking the social services, can we have counselling? Can we have this? Can we have, oh, yeah, 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 but it takes a long time. It takes a long time. Oh, great. So they just sat back and watched her crumble. Well, we're now on to social worker 3 and 4. So I've got 2 social workers now.
Can I
Yeah,
just quickly, sorry for interrupting, can I quickly ask what's the time scale of this? When did this all begin? When did
last
you
May.
first ask for help?
Last May.
Right, okay, thank you.
Yeah, it's when it all started. So next thing you know, she's come back angry as anything, and she actually attacked me quite bad. So I made the decision 2 weeks before Christmas, for my other children's sake, for her to go into foster care. I signed her over for 2 weeks, and she was to come back in the new year, and we was going to have all this counselling put in place, all this therapy, horse therapy stuff for her. We were promised everything, and I was promised it was only for 2 weeks. On the 2nd of January, oh no, sorry, the day after that. So she left on the 13th of December. Was it December? Yeah, 13th of December. On the 14th of December, that morning, I had Ashford Borough Council knock on the door and hand me a 28-day notice. Now, when you're given a 28-day notice, you either have to approach the person, find a solution. There's 3 things you've got to do before the 28-day notice. I was never told anything. All I know was there was an incident in the building. Now, I've been there for 2.5 years. I'm friends with all the mums in there. I've had no complaints, nothing. All my no complaints about my children. They've been in there for 2.5 years. This new boy moved in. They were from a women's refugees. They were literally being brought home every night by the police. This young boy and the sister. So I've seen the police turn up, take CCTV from the office because it's next door to my property, and then come back that same night and go up to the flat, into the girl's flat. Now, I was put into emergency accommodation with that girl. And she said, yeah, they come up and they said, we viewed the CCTV. Your son has done all the criminal damage because the whole place was smashed up. So I approached Cherry. Cherry was like, Mum, I wouldn't do that. Still to this day, she's like, Mum, I'm telling you. Anyway, he told me and the solicitors and everyone that he had CCTV of my daughter doing it. But I was never approached about it, just a 28-day notice. I So that was then. So, and also this is a period over Christmas, so it's going to take a long time to get a housing. Do you know what I mean? I'm already 10 steps behind them. So the 2nd of January then turns up. I get a phone call from social worker number 4 saying, go and grab a solicitor. We're going for the kids on FaceTime because you're mentally unstable. I went, all right. Right after Christmas, this is 2nd of January. Lucky enough, Tommy didn't have, my little boy didn't have, he wasn't feeling right. He had a bellyache. So I booked him in for the doctors. Went in, see the doctor. I let her deal with the baby first. Then I said, look, I've just had this phone call. I explained what I've just been through with my daughter, and they're meant to be bringing her back to me. But instead, I'm getting kicked out and da 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 da. She said, well, considering what you've been through, like, I think you're doing amazing. She's a really nice doctor. And she was honest. And she said, look, you're standing upright. Your children, they don't look affected. And like I said, do you want me to go out of the room while you have a chat with them? No, 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 no. Perfect, you're fine. So we got on the FaceTime at 2 o'clock. That was at 11:30. Got on the FaceTime at 2 o'clock with some judge and all these people. I'm obviously panicking, thinking, oh my God, they're about to come in and remove my children. So they're saying, oh, she's mentally unstable. So have you got anything to say about that? Well, I've just spoke to a doctor and I've asked him to mentally assess me, and she thinks I'm doing fantastic, and she has absolutely no concerns and no worries for the welfare of me or my children. Oh, right. But dad hasn't been informed. They just tried to take the kids from me. So he went, oh no, the dad's got to get involved. So from the 2nd of January right up till April, they took me to court 4 times. Canterbury call, I won 4 times. The judges laughed them, no evidence every single time, yeah? But that's hard. I've said goodbye to my children 4 times thinking I'm going off to court, and I'm not coming up, like it's the police is going to be picking them up, or someone else is going to be. Do you know what it's like when you have to go and pick your child up from school and the head teachers and everyone knows that maybe it might not be you, it could be someone else, or it's very, very nerve-wracking, especially for your children as well. They're sitting there all day waiting the outcome. So I went through that 4 times, won every time, no evidence. They then got a judge, I will say, took me up to Medway Court, where everyone loses their kids. I was in the parenting lessons with 2 others, and they won in Canterbury and Maidstone, but they were taken to Medway where the children were removed. So there's obviously a pattern there. Got taken up to there. This judge, they claimed, oh sorry, when they come in and removed my children, I've skipped a bit. So they couldn't get my children. So I was in a bungalow with 3 other people, which is obviously very small, and the owner lived next door in the hotel. And I had the big garden because obviously I had the dog. I had no issues. I was there for 2 months. We was all on top of each other. The old man, he'd run it for 20 years. He was quite like a stubborn old man. He doesn't really talk to no one. Well, he actually, when they were removing my children, he actually come round to check on me and my children because that's how much he liked us. Yeah, we was no pain, no issue, no troubles, respectful. Do you know what I mean? Now they come in with my daughter from school. She was meant to be brought home from someone else. Ashford Borough Council got served on no, sorry, I need to go back. Sorry. So
It's
we're
okay. It's
living.
okay. Take your time, and if you need a break, just let me know. I can mute you, and you can take a break. Okay.
So going back, we're living in this place, and social's meant to be helping us because the bailiffs have turned up and kicked me out of the 3-bedroom house. Yeah, I'm out. I'm gone over nothing. I lost my dog, my German Shepherd dog of 8 years that I've had from 8 weeks old. I had to give him up because he's a protection dog. I couldn't bring him to a 1-bedroom flat. It's just not doable. I managed to get my dog of 13 years with me. So we've moved out. They've had to move me back to Ashford because my daughter was staying with her best friend, but she was wetting the bed because she had separation anxiety from me. So they moved me back to Ashford into that place. We was in that place. One of the mums was dropping off and picking up. She was like helping me out because they placed me an hour and a half away from the school. I had to get a train and a bus every morning with both children. Smashed it though. Never had a day off. Like they test you, didn't they? So done all that. No concerns from the school whatsoever. Next thing you know, I'll go and pick her up on the Tuesday. She woke up in the morning and she had had a bite on her arm. And I said, oh, like it didn't look infected or nothing. I just said, oh, right, go to school. She's meant to go swimming. She comes out. When I went out to collect her, the deputy head decided to come up and tell me that it needed to be seen by someone. So I was like, okay, no problem. It's not. She said, we think it might be a burn. I went, oh no, it's not a burn. It's an insect bite. Clearly, I've got pictures of it. It is. So she was like, oh, all right then. So I took her over the road to the pharmacy. She was seen by a consultant in there, and she was prescribed medication on Tuesday afternoon. Now for a mosquito bite. Yeah. Okay. So next thing you know, sorry, one sec. Thank you. So next thing you know, she's gone to school with her medication because she has to take it 4 times in the day. Given this, it's been handed into the school. You have to explain, like sign it into the school. It has to be kept in the fridge. She was going swimming, so they was like, "Oh, we'll put it in an ice pack for you." The social worker, she knew everything. I sent her because my daughter heard her and the deputy head saying, "We think it's a burn. We think it's a burn," when she was outside the room. And like an idiot, I said to my daughter when she told me this, I went, "Don't be silly. You've just been prescribed medication. They can't say that's a burn." Well, instead of my friend bringing her home, one of the parents, I was met at the door with 4 policewomen, I think it was, and 2 social workers. I opened the door, I went, come in. no problems. Come on, come in. But they all looked at me like I was about to, I don't know, it's like they had a warning against me or something. So they've come in. Oh, we want to speak to Tommy on his own. No way. Go and get a camera. Then you can speak to my son on his own. Just woke up.
How old was your son?
He's 3.
He was. How old was he at the time? 3.
3.
3. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So next thing you know, they went and got the body cam out of the car because they didn't come in with it. And they put it on the side and they recorded him. I went, right, I can go out and leave you. Anyway, they didn't get what they wanted for the first 20 minutes. And he was just obviously trying to come out to me the whole time. I was out in the garden. And then he tried to come out to me and I was like, is he finished now? Like, are you done with him? And they was like, no, not yet. 5 more minutes. And then all of a sudden they come bolting out on the phones. I didn't find out till court. Apparently my son said that I strap him to a chair. But we're in, like, I have to keep all my food and everything in there. So all the professionals know when they come in, I have to go outside and grab a chair. Otherwise, he's a monkey. He's climbing, getting in all the food. So doesn't make sense at all. Obviously, in all of his notes and his foster care notes, he's outdoor, he's active. You ain't strapping a child like that down. Anyway, so they can't produce this evidence, by the way. This is just hearsay because that was never produced in court, and I've chased it every day since, all through the legal routes, asking them, going on the websites, everything. No one will get back to me over it, okay? So we haven't got that piece of evidence. The other piece of evidence was a burn. Well, they took my children straight the next day to go and have a medical at I think with the William Harvey. It's 30 seconds from where I was. I was also promised I could be there. It was a lot of crap. Just like I was promised that if it wasn't a burn. Now, the funniest thing is this police officer said, oh, well, if it's not a burn and it's proven by the medical, you can have them back tomorrow. I was like, oh, lovely, great. I said, here, do you want to take her medication though? And they was happy to take the medication for a mosquito bite that they were accusing to be a burn, right? So by the time we've got into court, the medicals prove that my children are well looked after, clean ears, like they're well looked after, no head lice, everything. There's no burn whatsoever, but there is a mosquito bite. And there was something about my son's bruising. Now he's a 3-year-old. That we're in the park all the time because we're in a 1-bedroom place, so we're out in the park. It's summer. Do you know what I mean? He's a climber, so he has a few lumps and bumps, whatever. Anyway, there was one that they were saying isn't consistent because it's not over a bone, just one. It's absolutely ridiculous. So we get to call. Next thing you know, this one in Medway was like, oh, it's very serious when they're taken away from with the police. But where's the report from the police? Because all they've said is he said this, that's why we've removed him. But there's no evidence of it. You're taking their word and that's it. Because I had a solicitor at the time, he brought up twice. He said, I'm really concerned that there was a burn, because there is a burn on the removal. It says something burn, expected burn or something. So I was like, right. No, she just looked down every time. Every time you challenged her on anything, she just looked straight down. Did not care whatsoever. That she was there to do one thing and one thing only. So she done what she had to do. I then got her again 2 weeks later to release Cherry from her intern care ship. Sorry, my daughter. Um, and I walked in there. She walked out. I thought, well, I know what's going on here. My daughter's self-harming to come home. She's never done that in my care. Like, she admits to all the professionals, everyone, they're all hiding it as well. It's not on her records at all. She's never done it in my care. She sat in family time saying, Mum, like, I would never have done this if I was living with you in your care. Like, she said, I'm doing it to get out. So I've sent the judge everything, yeah, and say, if you keep my daughter in there, you're basically encouraging her to harm herself, which no one's reporting it. So what happens if she does something of a night time? No one's going to report it, or she don't tell no one because no one's listening, and she bleeds to death. What happens? So with that, she went, oh no, she's really happy where she is. She can stay where she is. I was like, I've done something. I nearly got kicked out of the call, but lucky enough I was all right. But
Please tell me later in private what you did.
oh, got my phone out, didn't I?
Oh, right, okay, yeah. All right,
Yeah.
fair one. Sorry. Okay.
Um, yeah, I wasn't happy, put it that way. So then we had her, and then last Monday or the Monday before, they've tried to take me again. They brought a retired judge out of retirement from 3 months ago to tell me that if I continue posting online or doing anything, then I could be looking at 6 months in prison. And my response, well, it was actually the solicitors that said it first, and I just said, "You do know I would die for my children." Like, and this is another important thing as well. Everyone needs to be out protesting, because my kids are sitting in there with no evidence on their name whatsoever. Okay, and they've got a medical report stating they are well looked after. Yeah, and it just goes to show, you had four judges laugh them out. They literally, to the second time, I represented myself, and the judge was sitting right opposite me. It was a very, very small court. And he said to me, he said, "Samantha," he said, "I think you're a very, very smart and intelligent young lady." And we all walked out there. He was literally laughing at them. So this is all to do with housing. Unfortunately, my parents were threatened if she continues to do it. And again, I've got it all in messenger between me and the social worker saying, "Why have you threatened my parents, saying you're going to remove my children for a fifth time if I take Ashford Borough Council to High Court?" Because I'm going to win. He lied. There is no CCTV. Yeah. So this is all over Ashford Borough Council, basically. This is where it stems from. And at the end of the day, I think it's disgusting. Absolutely. Why are they punishing me and my kids like this? Like I explained to the social worker the other day in the meeting, it doesn't matter whether they're in my care or not. When you get in a court of law, it's going to say, "Where's the CCTV then?" Because we've got solicitors saying, requesting it, and you saying, "No, we ain't got to give it to you." Do you know what I mean? It's absolutely diabolical the way they're treating us and what they're doing to my children over housing. Yeah, if I was a really, really bad parent, they would have got me the full fifth, sixth time they took me. But it took them so many times. It just, and again, I got taken out of the jurisdiction. Like, it was all done so dodgy. It was really, really bad. And also, I want to point out that the judge that they used, the female judge, what they used, she was in Court of Appeals last year. But really, like, she let a child down big time. She placed it with the wrong person, and they were worried about her decision making, saying that she was very tired. Who cares?
But she could make that decision again with yours, though, yeah?
But who cares, tired or not? She put a child in danger, and she got done for it in Court of Appeals. And the one that they brought out of retirement 5 years ago in Court of Appeals for, oh, it's awful. He made a mother so petrified. He basically threatened her if the man had been done for abuse on a 16-year-old and a few others, yeah. But he said no, the child's going to go, and if it doesn't, we're taking it for adoption. So she was left in tears in the court. Basically, he threatened her in the court, and she got that overturned as well. So
What's happening next with your case?
we go back in September, where they've told me last week they want to adopt my son, and they want to keep my other two in long-term foster care.
How old is your son they want to adopt?
3.
Well, oh, yeah, you mentioned, sorry, you did mention that, yeah.
So
Okay.
at the end of the day, I've got the whole thing on record anyway. They've got no evidence. They're saying, well, I can't really say too much, but what they're saying is a joke. You can't. How, like, my mental health one come back fantastic. She said obviously, like, why have you got this views on the social services? This was in my mental health report. I said, well, to be honest with you, if you go on YouTube and you type in this police officer, and you look at this, and you look at this lady with her granddaughter, and you look at this, oh, and look at my case, I won 4 times. Yeah. And then they had to lie about a burn and my son saying something, which neither they've got evidence for.
This is the situation I've been finding myself personally, and with literally, it's probably 100,000 families now That's just in the UK, not counting
You
all the
can't
ones that have
take
contacted me
it over
abroad.
you
It,
can't do it.
it seems to me that once they've got their hooks, let's say, their talons into you once, they never give up, do they? They just don't quit.
The third time in, I felt like saying, "Is there not a law? Can you stop doing this to me now?" And that was the third time it happened to me. I felt like thinking, there, something's got to be put in place. If there's no hard evidence there 4 times, come on, you've got to be left alone.
I totally agree. When my son come back to live with me 4 years ago, for the first year when he was under this supervision order, which they only supervised 3 times, checked on him 3 times in a year. So, oh, you got well bad concerns, ain't you? But right, he was so scared that any minute they were just going to knock on the door and take him back. And I was trying to explain to him they can't just do that, but they can, can't they?
They can do whatever they want. They
Yeah, and this,
and they admit to it in text. This is how sloppy they are. They admit to it in text. Now, when they took me in that courtroom to silence me, I said to that judge, I said, I wouldn't have any of this evidence if you lot all worked by the law. I wouldn't have you. We wouldn't be hiding a 17-minute video of the main manager who runs the centre where me and my children are, of her intoxicated, throwing shoes at me, telling us to go home and have a nice little drink. It's disgusting. Screaming in my daughter's face, telling her to scream louder. She's 8 years old. Yeah, you hear a lot of abuse in there, and you hear me say on about 10 occasions, "Oh my God, what is going on here?" It was so bizarre. I couldn't believe how they were treating my children.
Yeah, I need
But
to like. Sorry for butting in quickly, but just to say that I will discuss this with you
yeah,
privately about your evidence.
yeah, because
Okay.
yeah, like I say, like none of the judges want to see that. Why is that? But it's it's just I don't know.
As
I
should the judge issued at any point in any of this, has any of the judge said to you, "I want full disclosure"?
oh no,
Oh well, there you go then. That's why.
no.
That's why.
No, but I'm requesting a lot on this one as well. Like I want to cross-examine the um guardian, the what's her name, parenting assessment, because I've already put a complaint in against that.
Mm.
Because the thing is with my case as well is I've got medical cannabis on my record. Now it doesn't mean that I'm sitting here abusing it. I take my medication. They've tried fight the first what time they tried saying it was fake documents. Like, how am I giving them fake prescriptions? I'd love to know where I'm getting them from. You got to have you got to be very brave to be passing fake documents through the courts. But I've sent them everything.
well, this
So
is
at
one
the end of
thing.
the day, they got everything for it, and they ain't shut up. That they're using it in a parenting report. But like I said, I've kept regular contact. I travelled 2.5 hours there for an hour and a half visit, and then travel 2.5 hours back. Yeah, 3, 4 times a week. Yeah, I don't. They don't pay for me either because I don't want them tracking where I'm coming to and from because they won't give you the money. They want to book the tickets for you. Yeah. So I've done really well for the past 3, 4 months. I've kept regular contact. I said, if you can show me in a report where my parenting has ever been affected by medical cannabis, my children are late to school, they smell of it. Um, I know loads of kids that sit there rolling things up and grinding stuff together. My children say that's mummy's having a cigarette and they've never seen me vape it. Yeah. So I pointed all that out to them in this last interview and I said it's discrimination, it's my disability, I take my medication for it. How is it the police have been into my property, bagged it all up, gone through my emails, seen all my prescription and handed it straight back to me in my own home? But yet when it comes to social services, it's used against you in court. Now, the woman judge, this is something I've not told you, stood there in court when she put my other two into this system. She stood there in court and said to my face that you cannot buy medical cannabis in the form of flour. I was in shock. I was in complete shock. Yeah, I was. That's all I order. I've got a.
I can't comment. I don't know. I haven't
Was
researched
in
it, so
shock.
something
But
else
that's
I
what
need to do.
listen, that's the one thing for me. I was just like, this woman hasn't got a clue. She thinks that I'm actually not doing this legally at all. It's been legal since 2018, for Christ's sake. So I've just seen on the news recently, a man got kicked out of his child's birth because he smelt of it, and he's a medical cannabis patient. Like, there's got to be, do you know what I mean? Like, I know it's not for everyone, but when you're using it as medicine and you've been
Mm-hmm.
checked out, your medical, you don't just get handed it.
If you're being, if you're being subscribed it
100%. You've got
legally,
to
like they can't use it against you. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Yeah, I totally agree.
now it's discrimination, disability discrimination. And if you continue on, I've already spoke to an outside solicitor, and I said, is it worth getting like my own personal assessment? He went, don't waste your money. He said, because what it says in my mental health report as well, my psychological report, it says Samantha does not qualify for drug and alcohol because she will not score high enough.
How many people, all right, get arrested and that and put people in danger through alcohol, being drunk? How many people get arrested and put people in danger apart from driving, right? But that's the same with alcohol. Don't drink and drive, okay, right? If they're sat in their own home smoking a bit of cannabis, who are they hurting? Who are they hurting? Who are you going to hurt? Who you killing and that? Who you beating up? No one.
It ain't even that. It's like, I tried to explain to them. I was like, it's not a massive part of my life. That's why my children are not like mimicking it. Yeah, your children mimic everything. So if it's not affecting them, they've got no evidence of it affecting them. So I went and spoke to another lawyer, but it says in my mental health report, no, she won't score high enough. He said, you've already got a court ordered document from a professional stating you will not score high enough. Well, the social worker wanted me to go to a drug and alcohol assessment. Yeah, no problem. Rocked up, nice gentleman. Now you got to understand, I'm also being judged, like the way I'm acting with them. It ain't just going and doing
Your
appointments.
appearance, the tone of your voice, the way you look, it's everything. Yeah, everything.
I get on sweet with them all, no problem. Not one report has come back and said, oh, she was aggro, or she was this, she was that. So I went in, see the drug and alcohol man, had a laugh and a joke with him. He was a lovely man. And he went, you don't score high enough, unfortunately. So I was like, oh, okay. He said, you're a 7. You need to be a 15 to enter this course. So I was like, oh, right. Where do we go from here? He said, well, all I can say is pop to your doctors and see what they say. I was like, well, I don't do the I need opioids or steroids because I've got a cracked pelvis. I said, I've avoided that for the past 10 years because if you go online and you look at the statistics, within 6 months, I'm double the dose.
So, but social services basically, cut a long story and all that short, because I'm sure you got lots and lots to still say. And we unfortunately there is a time frame, so I can't just like, Facebook different on YouTube. Facebook's totally different. So they're basically trying to throw as much mud at you and see what sticks, because on the 4th attempt they still ain't got nothing. So how do you think this is going to go? Well, we all know how you want it to go and how you'd like it to go, your children home, but realistically, what do you think they're going to try and do next so that judge says no?
The reality is we're going to court. They're relying on one assessment, which is the parenting one, which I've already put into the judge saying I've put a complaint in because it's full of medical cannabis, which it shouldn't be. There's no evidence of it affecting my parenting whatsoever, and it's legal. So that's all got to be removed. And what she said to me and what she's written down are two completely different things. So I need that challenged. I've obviously got the screenshots and everything of me putting the complaint in. The reply from the complaint was, sorry, we can't do nothing until after, like, for the next 6-7 weeks. But I've got it. I've disputed it. So I'm going to put that into the judge and say it needs to be disallowed. I'm not allowing anything from that. And that's their only one thing, what they're relying on. So that's all they've got is that parenting assessment saying that she doesn't think this, that, and the other about me, but yet she said completely different to my face.
Well, yeah.
And they're all aware of my daughter self-harming to come home. They're all aware of it.
During this, okay, have you got a legal team?
No.
Right, okay, that's okay. Because I'm wondering, because I've got a legal team and we've asked for everything. I'm getting it now. For the first time ever, I've got the contact reports, and I'm doing a full video on them because oh my god, right? When you've asked for contact reports, have you got them?
Hello?
Hello?
You asking me or you asking Samantha?
Samantha, have you received any of the contact reports?
Yeah.
You've
got
got
them.
them.
Yeah.
That's really weird. I've been trying for 3 years to get mine, and they've only just given me them because I've got a legal team. Before, I never got them. I kept on asking. I never got them ever.
Listen,
I know why now.
there's 100 emails from me to the solicitors asking for sibling reports, asking for this, asking for that, asking for this, asking for that. But they're too busy ringing me up or, sorry, emailing me, threatening me to go back to court.
So
Yeah, they're good at that.
In September, Samantha, this court, is it just one day or is it like what they call a 3-day trial?
Well, when I was in the last hearing to silence me, the retired judge said, oh, well, because he didn't want to talk about nothing about working with liars and 17-minute videos. He didn't want to know about none of that. He wasn't there for that. He was there to silence me. And he said, oh, you'll probably have a 3-day trial.
Yeah, that's typically how they do it. So after, so I guess this last 6 months you've been going, there's been like potentially viability assessments for other family members that, and the sibling assessments, the parent assessments, and I guess they've all come out negative.
No, mental health. I'll be honest with you. I took antidepressants and sleeping tablets for 15 years. I don't sleep and I've got anxiety and depression. So I take some sort of not harsh medication, but it doesn't affect me or anything. I've been on them for years, never abused them, no problem.
That's when your independent psychiatrist would do that report. All
She
the reports,
never come back saying nothing. She said she actually,
all the
sorry,
reports, all the reports like viability, parental assessment, sibling that social services have done.
yeah.
So all the reports done, the assessments have all failed, I'm presuming.
Not really, because the mental health one is saying I'm not autistic, ADHD. I suffer from what I suffer from. I take my medication, no problem. They've got no mental health on me. Plus, she states in there my views of social services are, oh, what's the word? Let me get the word. Hang on. I'm non-delusional.
Right. Okay.
So she agrees with from the evidence I've provided her. Right, so I've got that for the mental health. Plus, there's no mental health they can get me on, basically. So I've got that. I've got the parenting report that obviously I've ripped to shreds and we're not going to use. What else have we got? I'm trying to think.
Yeah, it's the big assessment.
The Guardian. I refuse for her to come and sit. I refuse for her to come and sit in with me because she withheld evidence to not get my 13-year-old. She never turned up and she never put my daughter's wishes in what she wanted to do.
Yeah, that's something I've experienced a lot of, actually.
Yeah, they got a habit of doing that, haven't they?
Yeah, but it annoys me because they sat me in front of the judge with her. She turned up for the first time ever. She's never involved in nothing. And the judge stood there and went, oh, I've known her for 10 years. She's a fantastic person.
Yeah, family friend, probably.
I thought, oh my, well, I stood up and went, you're the bentest judge I've ever seen, and I'll make you famous. And I did.
Oh, that cheered him up. Have you still got the same judge?
No, that was the retired one.
Oh, I bet he's glad he retired now, mate.
I'm honestly up with it. That's why I've been asking to go on the immigration marches, because what are we meant to do to get exposure? Do you know what I mean? It's like, when is someone gonna, like, obviously there's a whole village of people that knew my children and are in complete shock that this has happened. And you've got to understand, my eldest is self-harming in there. Yeah, she was put in nappies for 4 weeks through heavy bleeding, adult nappies, and then moved to the next place. She's had 6 placements. Okay. And then you've got my other daughter, who's 9,
And she's now, you understand, they're all fantastic at school. And we've got the review meeting in the next week or so. And in the summer holidays, I found that because my children wasn't brought to contact a couple of weeks ago, I found out that my 9-year-old daughter attacked a foster carer.
Is that the reason they didn't turn up for contact?
Yeah, but no one was allowed to tell me. I got it through text.
Yeah, it's lovely. I get stuff through an email. It's fantastic, isn't it?
Anyway, I let them get on with it. So I don't fight or argue with them. I'll ask my daughter when I see her. So then next thing you know, I was told in the other meeting that there was actually 2 incidents. There's been 2 incidents. So this is all going to come out. And when I'm hoping them teachers, when they sit and they say, well, because they're also going to find out they're now going for adoption. And because they said to the teacher to get her on board, oh, it'll only be for 6 months and then they'll be back in mum's care. Yeah. And I don't think my social worker's going to be there for this one. And she's been there for everything. So
can I just say something, guys? Can we take 2 minutes quickly, please, so I can explain to people who have just come on the stream and that why we're not replying to chat and the like, because this is more of obviously Samantha getting her story out. We're trying to let her talk as much as we can, so I don't want to interrupt her more than I need to, because sometimes there is questions by replying to your chat. But I am reading your chats, guys. We know you're there. We appreciate it. We love you all. But this evening, it's about Samantha and her story, which she wants to get out there. So
hopefully make so many other people. You've got to get up and you've got to change something. I'm outside Canterbury Court. I'm outside a court all the time with my banners, with all their names on them. Anyone corrupt that's done me and my children wrong, your name's going in black and white, and I'm going to hold it up. That's the only way you're going to stop them. Because how does anyone know what's going on behind them doors? No one's going to know. So everyone needs to get up and get outside whatever court it is or whatever council it is, and you need to start doing it, because since I've been exposing, I've definitely seen a switch with the people that I'm working with now. So I feel like I've got till September. A lot of people wait till afterwards. Yeah.
Would you say, it's hard to know when to talk, isn't it?
No,
would you say, since exposing them, it's benefited you? Because in my case, they have doubled down and made mine and my children's lives so much worse. So much worse.
It doesn't matter the outcome. They were coming for my kids anyway. Whatever comes along, innit? 5 times. It took them 8 social workers and 5 court cases to get my kids. So I'm staying. Listen, if someone can provide me with a bit of evidence, all we've got is a medical report saying they're well looked after. Come on, it's just they just don't insult my intelligence anymore.
I know of cases where social service, and I will be exposing it at some point, okay, where social services have took a child, and this is just one, there's a few, but just one case I'll speak about quickly, because of a family pet. Another social services took a child because the child, I'm not saying what sex was, the child, and get this, guys, right, just get it out there, so you know, right, the child harmed a hamster. No, I'm not making it up. The child harmed a hamster.
They will use anything. It's not a cult. It's a kangaroo cult. Yeah. Because you can how is people losing their children over no evidence, hearsay, and reports from people that are paid $2,000 to do these reports?
I don't think the hamster, to be fair, testified. So yeah, where was the evidence? You know, it's ridiculous, isn't it? Though, you know, you may feel always making a joke out of it, but seriously, I know it's not a joke to the parent and the child, but
listen,
an hamster.
It is the kangaroo cult, isn't it? You couldn't make it up.
So, what do you think? Getting back, I went a bit off track then. I do apologise, guys. What do you think? Not hope, because that's obvious. What do you think is going to happen when you go back to court this time?
I'm bringing my kids home.
Fantastic.
There's no if, buts, or maybes. I've got no reason to keep them in there. I've got all the evidence that says my children were taken over a housing dispute. Ashford Borough Council was served on Wednesday morning. She come in with the police Wednesday afternoon.
So they took your children instead of housing you. That seems fair.
No, they took my children. So because I'm fighting them in high court because they kicked me out for nothing, and I'm going to win in court. That's why this is what it's all over. But another thing what I want to tell people, you all need to get on these foster care sites. And I went on one, and all your kids are my kids, sorry, they're all priced up at age. And then you get an exceptional pay, and that's all they were put in. I went in there and I sat an hour through 2 hours through listening to 6 foster carers say how amazing and great, and oh my God, it's amazing. But if it's disabled, even better.
Can you get that list over to either me or Matt, please?
Yeah, I'll send it all over.
Thank you very much. We need to have a meeting soon anyway, so yeah, we'll sort it out then. So
100%. But everyone needs to sign up and go on these. I showed my face. I was there on FaceTime showing my face. I don't care. I want to know what part. But I made sure I wrote in the comments, because there was like ask your questions there. So I was like, right, what would, because all they kept saying was, don't matter if you've got a criminal record, don't matter, just have a chat with us. It's all about having a chat with us, and like, it's fine. So you can obviously see why all these children and these babies, because they're letting criminal records go, it's fine. So I thought, all right, now's the chance to put in the chat. Here's my question. What about if you're a prescribed cannabis patient? Yeah, brilliant question. We'll answer that in a minute. She comes on. Yep, getting back to that. Well, it's prescribed legally. Not really much we can do. Again, it's just like with the criminal record. We just need to have a little chat about it.
Right.
But I'm being taken to court for it.
Yep.
But you can foster and do it.
Oh, well, yeah, obviously. Yeah, you can foster and do just about anything you want.
But I did the last 2 minutes of the chat. I put in all the harm, what the foster cares and what everyone's done to my children, and I begged everyone in that chat, please do not foster. These are children from loving homes being stolen by report.
They will do it. £24,000 a year plus everything else on top. Whatever you need, whatever you want.
Going on about all they kept posting in the chat, and that's how I've got it all, because I screenshotted it all. Yeah, was this is all the payments. And then you've got these 6 other people saying, oh, it's amazing, and you can do this and you can do that. And I'm thinking, yeah, and what about the 6 placements my daughter was put in? Because they're like, oh yeah, you get paid for holidays. I'm like, well, my daughter got put in 5 different placements for 2, 3, 4 weeks. Why everyone else went on holiday as a family. Like my daughter at the moment, my middle one, she's constantly in summer camp. What's she doing in summer camp all the time? She can be. Me as a mother, I wouldn't be putting her in summer camp. Or don't get me wrong, if you need to work or this, that, and the other, but I'm privileged enough. I'm there with my children. Yeah, with summer holidays, we're out making memories. And the problem is, where she's a part of other groups, I won't say what they are, but outside of school, she's not allowed to do no sleepovers or nothing. Like, she's not seeing no one from school either. She's absolutely miserable, bless her. All 3 children are crying and begging to come home. My son yesterday, when we walked to the park with the dog, Mum, how many days till we're coming home? How many days? Always sitting on my lap, always telling me he loves me. And the only thing through all of this is how strong my children are. I've raised them very, very strong, very proud of them, and I've not let them down once. And I'm always telling them in their ear, I'm there, I'm fighting for you, I'm fighting for you. Don't give up, don't give up. Keep telling them you want to come home. Even my little boy, I will say, I'm coming for you. I'm not leaving you. You're coming home in September. I was told I wasn't allowed to say that. I said, well, you took them and they're sitting in there with no evidence. So they're coming home in September, and that's it. And I will continue to tell them that, because that is the right thing to do by law. So if we get an honest judge, they're going to say, oh, gosh, you've definitely been done over here, right? Take your kids back. If we get a different judge, then who knows? But even the social worker said herself, even though we're going for adoption, doesn't mean we're going to get it.
No, that concerns me. It really does. This adoption business, man, it's a letterbox thing once a
It's
year, a letter and that. It's disgusting.
it's
Whoever
just,
thought of that it's just evil. Whoever put that forward and thought that was a good idea is evil. 1 letter a year. God.
and you know what? I think there's a lot of people online saying they don't even get that.
No, I actually know people. I've
After a
spoken
couple
to
of years.
people who have said, look, when their child's now 18, they've seen their child and their child has said, what letters? For 7 years, what letters?
I think when I got into this, I think the best thing I did was I researched everything. Yeah, everything, everyone, every avenue, whether it's about my case or it related to my case or it's 10 times worse than my case. I just went through so many different cases and the outcome was always the same. Where's the evidence? How is this abuse being like there's a video of my daughter being removed to take back to her placement. Again, my daughter's run away 8 times and I've phoned the police every time and I've returned her. Okay.
Yeah.
Because who knows what I'll get done for. And the police are allowed to come in, bend her arms back and bruise her. Yeah. I'm not allowed to do that. Not that I would, but they haven't got me on file doing that. But yet the authorities are allowed to do that. You've got foster carers, not one. When we went to court the second time, the self-harm was blamed on me. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I'd mentioned it. Okay. Then Cherry actually went and done it. But when we went to court, my solicitor said, you keep pinning it on the mum, but here in the logs, it's saying Cherry such and such self-harmed because I turned the internet off. Got nothing to do with me, has it? And this is the social worker said to me as well, so what's different from me to the others? And I said, you're heartless. They was all mothers and grandmothers. You have never had children. You haven't got a clue, love, really, to be honest with you. So I said, you are heartless enough to lie and remove my children. I said, that's the difference. So they know what they're doing. They're well aware of what they're doing, and they don't like being shamed at all.
1 second, sorry, 1 second. So, oh, butted in just at the wrong time. Then I'm really sorry, guys. You can still comment in the comments. It's just I won't be replying to them right now. So don't stop commenting. It's just I won't be reading them out and replying to them at the moment because I'm listening and stuff. So yeah, you can still comment. Don't stop commenting. That's not what I said. Bless you all. Thanks, guys.
I'm also not reading the comments because I'm taking lots and lots of notes. Because obviously, one thing that I've promised to do with anyone as best I can, especially with the court proceedings coming up literally around the corner, is I'll be after this. I'll obviously have a chat with you at some point during the week and just give you my thoughts and stuff. Because one thing, you say you're representing yourself right in the court. You've not got a solicitor. So what the judge, unfortunately, in family court, I'm not saying what the outcome's going to be yet. I have no idea. I've not seen anything. Based on what you said today, that you could come back, but they rely heavily. It's a belief system, the judge belief system, and they rely heavily on the multi-agency reports. And there's going to be you with your version of events. The multi-agencies will have their versions of events, but what will be quite convenient. Yeah, it'd be very convenient because how it works, a social worker would have done many assessments, spent many hours and days or whatever with you, but the guardian would have probably spent about an hour tops with you, yet they will reflect the same report as a social worker. So you can tell just by design that actually it's premeditated outcome on these reports. But unfortunately, in the court, what you will have to do in that 3-day trial is you will have to present evidence like you're trying to present to a 1-year-old, so the actual court really understands on these falsified reports. Because if you don't do that and nothing's contested, the judge is going to go multi-agent person 1, 2, 3, 4 versus 1, and they'll go right. Okay, we'll take the children, and that's how they function. So I can actually.
Oh, it's gone. Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I just say to the people? Sorry, Matt. I thought you'd finish, mate. Can I just say to the viewers watching and anyone who plays this back, everybody's referring to it as a 3-day trial because it feels like a trial. We know it's a 3-day hearing. The technical term for it is a hearing and not a trial. But when they're making decisions and it's like a trial, so and it bloody feels like one, doesn't it? So that's why everyone's saying trial and not hearing. Just I thought I'd clear that up for everyone.
Yeah. But yeah, hopefully when I go back, obviously you have to build. I've done it so many times now. What I do is I just build my timeline. So this is how
Yeah,
it's. I asked them for help. If I was doing anything untoward towards any of my children, do you think I would say, "Excuse me, can you come and help with my daughter's behaviour?" And with all them months working with me and 8 social workers, they've still got no evidence against me as a mother.
but what will shock you in September, and this, you've been through these 3-day hearings before, haven't you, previously? Yeah.
And
So
well, no, but I've done
no,
all I've done is 4 days.
I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. Is as the 3-day hearing gets close, within a week, within a matter of days, just before the hearing, the social services will put in so much as they call evidence. They'll increase that court bundle
Got it.
massively, and,
500
they'll,
pages. Yeah.
yeah, and they'll insinuate the negative bias that the judge will not go through all of it. He just relies on the overall thoughts of the multi-agency people. So yeah, it's there's going to be a lot more that you've not seen, and you're going to learn things that you've never done before because they will completely gaslight the hell out of you in a report in the court that you've not seen yet. I can
Well, I'm
guarantee that's what
there
will happen.
asking for
What I
evidence
want to try and help you prevent the
and
inevitable.
I'm there
I want to try and
challenging
help.
it. Listen,
Yeah.
everything they've got and they claim, I need the CCTV. I've already
Mm.
written to the solicitor saying if you can't bring the CCTV and the medical report of a burn, then it needs to be removed before we even go because it's an
Or to,
allegation with no evidence. I said it all
yeah,
needs to
or
be
worse,
taken out.
yeah, or adjourn to another date for the hearing if
Yeah,
they've
they should-
not got all the evidence and assessments in when you need it. And it's funny that actually, because it's always these positive reports for you are the ones that conveniently don't make it in and are very hard to get. The negative ones, they just fly in overnight when people are sleeping, just there, easy. But
Listen,
positive,
I've done it
it's
so many
horrible.
times now, and nothing
You haven't,
shocks me. And I feel
and you
like
want to,
the
you
longer you
block
go
it every
through
time,
this.
actually.
Sorry, go on.
You've blocked them every time. So I know you've done through multiple proceedings and you've self-represented yourself and you've actually prevented the social from taking your kids so many times. So this feels like a witch hunt and they're just trying to come back at you
It's constant.
because, yeah, I understand it feels
They
like a
hate
witch hunt.
losing, don't they? They can't get over it. They can't move on if they lose. They can't move on. They still haven't moved on about Kyle coming home to me, mate. They're still gutted about it. Still to this day, 4 years
Wrong.
on, mate. They're
Wrong.
gutted.
It's not about them. This is the problem. This is
Exactly.
what I
It
find.
is.
It's a big game to them. They're going. One will go and say one thing to my eldest daughter, like it was my eldest daughter that broke it to me that I'd failed my parenting assessment in family time.
How would your
I,
eldest daughter
Wow.
know? She shouldn't know, should she? You should
I
know
went,
first.
what? Went, yeah, you and
Yeah.
dad, you've both failed your parenting assessment. I went, oh, well, that's news to me. Again, I've put it all in writing to the lady who I dealt with, who I was fine with, who said one thing and then wrote down a completely different. I was like, what have I just been given this information? She was meant to ring me and she didn't.
So have they in the court documents when this all started, this recent court case, I'm guessing was 6 to 9 months ago, probably it started.
Yeah,
Um, yeah. Did you get a threshold, a breach? You know what they threshold that they believe you breached, and have you been invited as you represent yourself? Have you done a position statement against the threshold for each point?
no,
No. So what that is the position statement is what you challenge the points that are in the thresholds against you. So all the threshold points that they feel you breached, they put it in separate points you see listed down. A position
right,
statement is something you put in to combat each point, so you can then write your version of events from each point with the evidence. You can say it's available to the court, but don't say available if you want it. We need to put it in, and you have to treat the court like they're 2-year-olds because you've got to make it. I'm not being rude and nasty saying that, but
I know
you have
exactly
to
what you're
make
going
it pure as
about. Yeah,
day. Yeah, it's really. But I mean, I've done quite a few of these now, so I don't mind even helping you with potentially a position.
100%. Yeah.
Help
Listen,
you with that.
I've never
Yeah,
turned down help. More the merrier. At the end of the
I'm
day,
saying, yeah,
do you know, it can't hurt, can it? Someone that knows more than what I do about it. All right, yeah, I've done it
oh,
a few times, but
yeah,
I'm not a professional at it. I'm just going in fighting for my kids. I'm just a mum going in
same,
fighting for my kids. That's it.
same. And we get more people coming on here, and we'll find more people, and they'll talk about their experiences, and
Yes, this is what I
as
need.
exactly, and we'll start really forming a big list of tactics or things that have worked, haven't worked, and we'll also see patterns. as I like to refer to, like plagiarism, really, because they sort of like copy and it almost feels like it's a generic report that it's
Yeah.
the same for pretty much everyone. They
Yeah.
use such vague terms like concern, and the one I hate the most is unkempt. I hate that word because what do you mean unkempt? What part are you referring to? Is their face muddy, hair messy, they've got socks on? If you're going to say unkempt, which you always do, you can't actually put a specific reason why you came with unkempt.
Gaslighting, isn't it?
Gaslighting. Oh, yeah, exactly. It's constant gaslighting.
Mm.
And but now I can help with a position statement because I've done quite a few now, and
Yeah.
with my legal
Good.
team. Um, but
All
they're
my
really
evidence
important.
all my evidence is so easy and straightforward. Like it's all bam there, that like you can't. Like I've even got me messaging my housing solicitor saying, "Stop fighting for the kids. My mum and dad said they're going to try and remove my kids for a fifth time." And then I've got then I'm like, "Oh no, go for it." And then on the Wednesday morning, she messages me saying Ashford Borough Council have just been served. And then Wednesday afternoon, so I've got everything. I've got emails from solicitors. I've got the lot. I've got her
Samantha,
admitting.
will you sorry, darling, will you
No, go on.
keep us updated with whatever happens? And you're
100%.
more than, well, you're admin anyway. You're more
Yeah.
than welcome anytime you like to come back on and do a live stream or a recording.
Yeah.
I
100%.
need, unfortunately, I really need to finish it off right now.
I'm starving.
And I'm a busy person, mate, all day and all night. Have you got any final thoughts? Is there anything you'd like to say to anybody out there listening?
Yes, I would. Please don't forget about the children in care. I've met a lot of them, not met them, but I've met a lot online recently. And I just want to say, if we can support them and help them as well and make sure they're not forgotten, we can also give them their voices back. So this isn't a case of let's just go and look after my own children. It's a case of we all need to get out into these unregulated homes, and because there's a lot of children sitting in there that don't want to be in there, or they're harming themselves, and it's being the pictures and stuff what I get sent is horrendous. I'd never share it. I'd never do anything like that. But it's showing a real big crisis in the care system, and it ain't just our children entering it. It's what's already going on in there.
Yeah,
So can I just summarise
brilliant.
your whole story in just a matter of a few words here, just so I think I've got this right? This started back in May 2025, where you
Correct.
were having housing difficulties, so you reached out to social for
No,
help and support.
I
No?
reach out for help for my daughter.
And then December, 2 weeks before Christmas.
Correct.
That's right. And then you reached out to them for help, not the other way around, and now they're in court trying to get removal because
Yeah.
you reached out for the right thing,
Yeah.
given the circumstance at the time. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it's just
And they've got no
along the way,
evidence.
they've just tried to cherry pick some things and gaslight you essentially.
Listen, they've made
Trying
me
to,
fight through it all, and even the drug and alcohol. Let me tell you something quickly about that. The drug and alcohol. The woman stood outside. She was like, "Oh, are you the medical cannabis patient?" I was like, "Yeah, why?" She said, "Oh, yeah, I've had the manager on from that." The lady, the social
yeah.
lady, I've had her on. She wants to know what you've scored, and they both said we can't admit you. And then the man turned around and said to me, "It's her that wants you to give it up."
How, just quickly, how do you feel about now you've told your story? Would
Oh,
you
much better.
would you encourage other people to come forward?
100%. If you don't start getting up and talking, then say goodbye to your kids. A lot of people wait until after the court case. Where I've watched it all and watched
Yeah.
people go through it, I'm not waiting till afterwards. I'm out there exposing it now, because God forbid anything bad does happen. But like I say,
Parents are worried that it's going to affect their cases, and let's be honest, it does.
going
And social
go
services are
anonymous.
going to come down on them and be worse. And yes, they do. I'm experienced of that. I'm living proof. So what I would
Well,
say
I don't names. I've not done
yeah,
anything illegal.
what I'd
So
say is though, if you want to, you can be totally anonymous. Totally
100%. You've not
anonymous.
got to show your face or your name.
No, you
And
said that you wanted to show your face and use your
Yeah.
name, didn't you? So
Yeah.
I,
what
for
I'll
one,
do,
really appreciate you coming on. I think you're really brave. I think what you're doing's
Thank you.
amazing. I haven't got to tell you that, because anybody who doesn't fight for their kids, then well, you shouldn't be watching this all on this platform anyway. So yeah, I don't need to
yeah,
say, like, patronise you and tell you how amazing you're doing and what a great job, because
Thank
you want your children back. It's as simple as that. You're doing what you've got to do.
Yeah.
You know. So you don't need a medal and that round your neck, do you? You know, you're a mum. You love your kids. You want
There's
them
thousands
home.
of me. There's thousands and thousands of women like me. I am not on my own. There are
Come,
thousands of us.
come forward. I've spoken to a lot of them privately. Hundreds of thousands of messages and video calls and that I've had over the past 4 months.
The only way you're going to stop it is
So,
by outing it.
yeah, they're scared. So many people are scared. That's why nobody wants to do a peaceful protest, because they're scared.
But I'm more scared of not living without my children. Or
Same
them
as
getting
that. I'm scared of my children being abused again while in care. I'm scared of my children not having a proper education. I'm scared of my children for multiple different things, because my son is proof I can do it. Like, I'm an amazing dad. So stop alienating me from my children and give me them back. Same as it. But anyway, I will tell my story one day. But until that day, when I'm old and grey.
Before we end the video, I just need to put out there what I'm doing for Samantha. This is how I'm gonna. This is gonna be my part. Obviously, to be bipolar. You've heard my other videos. I can't stop talking, so it's hard for me to not talk. But I'm trying to be quiet when people do their stories. I'm going to be the one who's going to be taking all the notes as I can. And anyone else that comes forward who wants a story looked at, I'm going to be taking notes, and I will see how best I can help support you and your case moving forward. Because I understand the cost of solicitors are expensive. It's not always easy to do that. But at the same time, it's just the way. It's all about how we present the evidence, and I can try and help with that as many as you can. So you can be anonymous, you can be no video, anyone. I will be that person who's going to try and give you a plan of action to try and help you.
Don't fight on your own. You can't do it on your own. You need people around you to help you. If you've not got experts in it, they're going to come in and they're just going to take them.
Win or lose, this time next year, I will still be sat here doing this.
Oh, same here. I'm away from this now, from speaking all to them children in care. They're honestly,
if anything, I take on too much, because now I've just took on Australia and USA as well. So yeah, I'm too busy now, and it's So can I just quickly say, guys, anyone in the USA and Australia who fancies doing this group for me, please jump on and do it. And on that note, anyway, guys, you've been amazing, the both of you. I'm going to end the stream there, and everybody else, amazing. Please remember in the future, guys, because of Facebook being the way Facebook is, live streams will be on YouTube, but they will be available as soon as possible afterwards on all platforms. So thank you, Samantha. You're a legend. Thank you.
One final word for me, very quickly. For everyone else listening out there, I appreciate sometimes you've got me and Angel, two blokes. And I know sometimes you might not want to interact with a male. So Samantha is part of the admin team. Samantha is part of us. We're like three. And so if you'd rather speak to Samantha rather than me or Angel, I'm sure Samantha would be more than happy to take that on.
I've got time to sit and listen to anyone. So, and like I say, you've got to stick together. If you want to get through this, you need people in your corner. So, and knowledge is power.
Yes, fantastic. Thank you, guys. You've all been amazing. I will speak to you all very, very soon.